Rok Rozman has spent his entire life on the rivers of Slovenia. Once a member of an Olympic rowing team, he now prefers kayaks. His love of rivers has made him an ardent environmentalist. Every year, Rok joins like-minded people to paddle along the Balkans rivers to protest against the destruction of the last wild river landscapes in Europe. An award-winning documentary tells their story.
Yeah, this year we were planning to paddle all the way from the source in Bohinj down to Belgrade, where Sava flows into Danube. And we chose Sava because Sava is basically the most legendary river of the Balkans, because it defines the Balkan Peninsula, and because it's now really being attacked by the hydro lobby.
Rok Rozman founded the NGO Balkan River Defense. Today, he's taking us along to Mokrice, where a hydroelectric power plant has been planned for years.
We are at the planned dam construction site of Dam Mokrice, there at the turn. A dam that's the most controversial dam in Slovenia for the last 10 years, that everybody who knows a bit about nature and energy lobby has been fighting claws and nails.
Every Friday, Rozman takes his campaign to the streets of the capital, Ljubljana. For weeks, thousands have protested. Because of the corona pandemic, mostly on bicycles. They oppose the country's right-wing populist government, calling for an independent judiciary and press. But above all, they protest against the systematic curtailing of rights of civil society groups.
The general biking idea of the protest is to unite people, to oppose the destructive measures of the government that are trying to shut all the instruments of democracy.
Because of the coronavirus pandemic, the government has passed special laws that massively curtail the rights of NGOs. Lutra is a private research institute that, in regard to its NGO status, is affected by the laws. The biologists were contracted by investor Hess to prepare an environmental report on the Mokrice project. Their findings would have shown that a power plant would seriously threaten the environment, explains Lutra's founder. Hess later commissioned a new report elsewhere.
COVID serves only as a mask, a cover-up for all the repressive measures that are currently taking place. The fewer who oppose it, the easier it is. The main opponents are NGOs that have the status of acting in the public interest, namely to protect nature and the environment. Of course they want to get rid of these troublemakers.
Lutra lost its NGO status overnight because the new legislation simply establishes new criteria for what constitutes an NGO. Questionably, this criteria apply retroactively for the last 2 years. Also questionable, before taking office, the Minister of the Environment responsible for this was, before entering office, for years manager of the company that wants to build the power plant, as can be read on the website of his ministry.
If a person with such a background gets given a power that he abuses openly, not even being ashamed of it, then we shouldn't be afraid to say, no, you can't.
We repeatedly asked the ministry to give us an interview, but our request was finally rejected. Instead, we were told to consult the ministry's website, but that left many of our questions unanswered. The company planning to build the power plant did, however, agree to talk with us. It already operates 4 plants along the lower river Sava. Mokrice has been highly controversial for more than 10 years. Boštjan Pizotek, who is in charge of the project, says NGOs have a say in the matter, but the goal must be to finally build Mokrice.
This model of Lower Sava project of HPPs are in line with local communities, with state policy, and also with the European guidelines and European goals to improve the share of renewables in Slovenia.
But the environmentalists argue that the plans are long outdated. 4 years ago, the Lower Sava became part of the European nature conservation project Natura 2000. The new power plant would be in the middle of a nature reserve.
This is one of the hot spots of this part of the Sava. All the fish from all the way down in Croatia and also parts of upstream come here to spawn because they don't have other habitats like this. And if you take this away from this fish, the entire population is just wiped out.
Rolk Rosman is calling for the protection of the Sava, a legendary river. He's convinced that rivers are not only Slovenia's heritage, but above all, its future.